Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for your poems this week. I want to start with the second poem, um, The Disgruntled Pepper. I have to tell you that this poem is so funny, and I think it's really difficult to write funny poetry. And so I just want to give you some kudos for that. I think, the pepper being just infuriated with the cook for her lack of creativity and always using it in the same recipe. I thought it was really funny. I don't think that you're lacking any details, but if you feel driven to make this longer, then you should. If you have the time and the inspiration, then you absolutely should. But it doesn't feel incomplete at this point. And yes, the silliness definitely came through. I'm so glad that you had a good time with this prompt and that it helped after last week's serious autobiography poems. I feel like sometimes we can take ourselves too seriously as artists and as writers, and so it's important to remember to play. So that's what this prompt was all about, and it worked for you, and I'm really happy to hear that. Now, the first poem for the prompt number one, the mundane and the extraordinary. I know you're saying that you already have ideas to change it, and that you sort of lost your idea along the way, and that you have a different ideas of where to go with this. So I just wanted to mention, Karen, that when I write a poem, I probably write in all of my editing and all of my drafting, maybe 10, 15 versions of the same poem before I find the right thread to follow through. So I just want to say that if you have a bunch of different ideas about the same thing, you should write them all. Don't restrict yourself to one or two, right? Just write all of those ideas, even if it feels really repetitive, because you're the poet and you get to decide moving forward which of those threads you want to hold on to and continue with. Um, so if you feel drawn to trying this in a couple of different ways, you absolutely should. I will say that in terms of the version that you shared here, I really like that it's a woman folding laundry and doing the mundane tasks of a household versus the extraordinary birthing of stars in the galaxy. I think that contrast is really interesting. So if you decide to move forward with that, I think what you need to do is include, just carry it through, right? So you've got this first stanza with the laundry, the second stanza talking about clouds of gas and dust and stars forming, back to the laundry, cooking dinners, mopping the floors. And then I think this stanza here, one night maybe she'll dust off that old telescope, that feels like the end of the poem for sure, but I think you could include more stanzas in between, about more details about what's going on in the sky, in astronomy, in the world, more details about the small household tasks that this woman is completing. So that would be my recommendation moving forward with this. But thank you so much from your work. It was such a pleasure to see the level of joy that you got out of this week's prompts.